Every gardener who has struggled with clay soil knows how discouraging it can be. Water puddles on the surface instead of soaking in, roots struggle to breathe, and the soil dries into a brick that no shovel wants to penetrate. It feels like a curse that no amount of compost or tilling can fix. But here's the truth: clay doesn't have to stay that way. With one simple adjustment, I managed to transform heavy, compacted ground into a rich, crumbly loam that held moisture, let air flow, and welcomed roots. The method wasn't complicated, and it didn't require expensive amendments. It just needed patience, the right ratio of organic materials, and the discipline to let nature do the work. Understanding why clay soil fights against plants. Clay is made up of microscopic particles that pack tightly together. Unlike sandy soil, which drains too quickly, clay seals itself, locking out oxygen while trapping water in suffocating pockets. This suffocation prevents roots from spreading and microbes from thriving. Many gardeners try to fix clay by endlessly tilling or dumping in sand, but those methods usually backfire, creating something closer to concrete. The real key lies in changing the structure of clay by introducing the right kind of organic matter in a way that breaks apart the particles while encouraging biology to bind them into crumbs. You know, the real turning point for my soil came from a practice that's often overlooked: layering carbon-rich materials directly into the clay instead of just mixing everything in at once. By combining shredded cardboard or paper with fresh nitrogen sources like kitchen scraps or grass clippings, I basically created a slow-release composting system right there in the ground. Unlike a pile that takes months to mature before you can add it to your beds, this method actually transforms the soil in place. Over time, microbes get to work breaking down that carbon, and in the process, they knit the clay particles into stable aggregates. Those aggregates are what gardeners call loam. It's really the ideal balance of airspace, water retention, and structure. So, the process starts by digging shallow trenches across the clay bed, and you don't want to go any deeper than about 6 inches. Into each trench, I lay down a base layer of shredded cardboard or brown paper, about 1 inch thick. This provides the long-lasting carbon foundation. And then, on top of that, I scatter a layer of fresh green material, such as grass clippings, food scraps, or even a dilute manure solution. Now, the ratio really matters here. For every bucket of cardboard, I added about half a bucket of greens. This, you see, prevents the system from stalling due to too much carbon. After setting the layers, I gently pulled the soil back over the trench and gave it a light watering to activate decomposition. The magic starts slowly, but within weeks you can actually feel the soil softening where the layers were placed. Microbes swarm to that perfect balance of carbon and nitrogen, earthworms tunnel in to feast, and fungal networks weave the clay into a web that holds its shape while allowing air and moisture through. By repeating this process row by row across the garden, the transformation became quite noticeable within just 1 season. Most gardeners are told to spread compost endlessly over clay, but clay has a way of swallowing compost without changing much. The fine particles simply compact again, and surface compost dries into a crust. By trenching in cardboard and greens, the structure changes from the inside out. It mimics natural soil-building processes, where fallen leaves and organic residues layer on the forest floor and are incorporated gradually. Instead of fighting the density of clay, this method harnesses it, using its moisture-holding ability to speed decomposition. A good example came from a section of my garden that once baked so hard in summer that water would roll off like pavement. After trench layering in the fall with a mix of shredded cardboard and grass clippings, by spring the ground tilled easily with a fork. not a pickaxe. Roots of beans and tomatoes penetrated without circling. In another test, I compared rows treated with only surface mulch versus rows treated with the trench system. The surface mulch kept weeds down, but the soil beneath remained heavy. In the trench-treated rows, however, the soil had a crumbly texture within 3 months. The best time to start this process is in autumn or early spring, when soil moisture is moderate. Too wet, and the layers can turn anaerobic. Too dry, and decomposition slows. Watering the trenches lightly every couple of weeks, especially in dry spells, keeps biology moving. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't have to be repeated endlessly. After 1 or 2 years of trench layering, the clay permanently shifts toward loam because the organic matter and biological networks stabilize the structure. To maintain it, a gardener only needs to keep adding organic residues through mulching or light trenching each season. Unlike quick fixes that wear off, this method sets the soil on a permanent path of renewal. Clay soil doesn't have to be the death of your garden. By using a simple layering trick with cardboard and nitrogen-rich scraps, you can transform lifeless, compacted ground into soil that behaves like fertile loam. It's inexpensive, effective, and scalable to any plot size. Instead of endlessly dumping compost on the surface or battling with a tiller, let biology do the hard work underground. The results are real, and they show up faster than most gardeners expect. If you found this soil revival method valuable, make sure to subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with fellow gardeners. Helping more people turn hard clay into fertile loam is how we build stronger gardens everywhere.